Welcome everybody to the first ever episode of the SlowBurnHour. Today, I'm your host, Donnie Blue, and alongside me, my other host, Mr. It's Chuta Baby.
What's going on, baby? How we doing?
Now, this show, we're trying something new with this show, Chuta. We're trying something new.
What's up?
We're gonna be talking. We're gonna be talking shit. We're gonna be talking what we're working on. We're gonna be talking, answering questions from the fans, from the people, from the homies.
Everything under the sun.
But today, we're gonna be talking about not for sale.
Yes, sir.
You know about not for sale?
I do know. I know a little bit of not for sale.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we've gotten to this point to be able to even conversate about it.
Exactly.
And what more fucking better way to do it than my homie right here, Donnie Blue.
Yes, sir. On the first episode of the SlowBurnHour. Now, if you guys don't know what Not For Sale is, Not For Sale is the sophomore project of Mr. It's Chuta Baby right here. Following his first project called It's Chuta Baby.
It's Chuta Baby.
Which is iconic in itself, but this one is even more iconic. Different mind frame, different mindset. Why is it called Not For Sale?
So it's called Not For Sale. Basically, I wanted to think about yourself, like self, soul, and everything. Just you in general, you as a being. You can't change for any type of shit. There's no price on your soul, you know. It's not for sale. You can't, no matter what you throw at me or whatnot, I'm not going to change myself. My authentic self will always be the same. It's not for sale. It's not going to be changed for anything, any circumstance. And that's pretty much it. Just being your full authentic self, not holding back, not being ashamed of who you are type shit.
Mm-hmm.
And as well as, like, you know, sample clearage. The samples on there. There's beats from other people. You know, it's just like it's not for sale.
It gave me vibes of all samples cleared type of vibe. You know what I mean? Is that on purpose, or is that just it just so happens? It just so happens that as artists, as rappers, and people who love hip hop, we always get into that shit, huh?
I want to say it's fucking. It was subconsciously us. Like subconsciously we did it. And we just had to find it later, you know? Like,
right.
It just fit. It's like a puzzle. It's like you didn't know that piece was right there. You didn't know it completed the rest of it, but it did.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, and we also always looking at shit a little bit differently, you know, different perspectives as the path we choose in our lives.
That's true. And where are you at in this project? Is this, when this project comes out, is it where you at currently, or is it like where you were?
I would say this is the most recent mindset time frame. So I wanna dial back a little bit, just a little bit.
Okay.
And I wanna go back to right before this project even was conceived of any way, shape, no songs were on it at all. And I was coming back. We were coming back from Anybody Got a Lighter?
Shout out.
Because y'all don't know.
Thank you to everybody who came
y'all
to
don't know.
Anybody Got a Lighter.
It was the first show, the first SlowBurn crew show we ever did. We had all the artist homies there. It was amazing. Vibes was immaculate.
What a time to be alive.
Exactly. And right there, Jomi had came to the show.
Oh, yeah.
And Jomi had gave me some shrooms and whatnot. And on top of that, I already had some other shrooms. I had already been, like, you know, experimenting. Like, not experimenting because that sounds like I'm doing it newly. You know, I've been fucking with them just regularly. And I was just like, I felt like I was just microdosing a lot because I had them and I wasn't going to do big doses, you know?
Yeah.
I don't feel like I got to really be in the right mind state, really right place to do the big doses and like that. So I was microdosing a lot. And I would say, I got notes here and shit, hold on. I was like, I would say searching for a part in me, you know? Like, I don't know, I felt like they were calling me because I felt like there was something I needed to figure out about myself. I almost felt lost at one point, you know? So I felt like I was opening a door in my head, slowly creaking it open, doing the microdose, because I was microdosing every day. Like if it was coffee, because I heard people do that, you know, like working out, like shit like that. Like they do it in the morning to get their fucking mind going or some shit, you know? I was doing the research with it. So now it came time to fucking put it to the field. I was doing that when I was definitely thinking differently. I was definitely looking deeper into stuff that I really didn't think about at the time. Like more past shit, more beyond myself and beyond what's right here in front of me. You know, I started looking at things as a whole, as like everything. Like slowly though, like I'm saying, like think about GTA when you're barely playing, the map is not explored. You know, that's how I felt like every time I was doing it, there was a broader range in my brain.
Right.
And eventually I feel like it was you know, with the way my life was at the time too, I was kind of just like being free. I wasn't trying to be an adult. I was still fucking around, you know. I was living at my mama's and shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
And just like I had nothing to worry about, so I was just fucking around. And then, you know, knock on the door, life changes, and, you know, circumstances had happened where I had to move out. So, you know, that kind of put a little weight on my shoulders, but I wasn't stressing. I knew I was going to be able to handle it. You know, it's nothing I couldn't do before. So I was chilling until that happened. I had gone out on a vacation down SoCal with my lady and whatnot. We're out there. On the way back, we had stopped at this mountain. And, like, I was like, okay, you know, we're going to be here for a minute. We're going to hike up the mountain and come back down. So, okay, well, let's make it fun. Let's do some shrooms, you know? You know, me and my lady, we both like doing them. So we took bigger doses this time. And it wasn't microdose.
Right.
We were trying to feel some shit.
It was a good dose.
It was a good dose. Because we went up there, boom. We're walking up the mountain. We were at least gone for like 4 hours. So we're up on the mountain, walking up. Shit, you know, mushrooms were fucking hitting. Nature was naturing. There were some parts that were scary, some parts that were beautiful. And, like, I don't know, like, even just that little simple thing was making me think about life differently and whatnot, you know. And there was times where, like, those times were scary, you'd feel very dark, you know, very dark. Like, had me thinking crazy. But, like, fucking, we kept quoting Twilight and Coraline quotes. So, like, that was keeping us fucking going. They said, I see a giraffe.
Oh, hell no.
And, yeah. And coming back down, you know, the trip was good. Like, we was enjoying it. I feel like away from society. It felt like a break. Felt like a breather.
Right.
And I didn't even start, like, thinking. Like, it wasn't even that I dug into my mind at that moment. I didn't do that until we got back into the car. We got back into the car a little later, and I was like, it just started hitting me, like, differently. Like, the shrooms were hitting me different. Like, I've done them before. I've done the trips, all that. But at this very moment, I felt like it was because of all the microdosing I had been doing that I was like opening the door, right? And by the time I had done the big dose, the door was open. Like, it was ready to go through. I had gone through that door, and I just started opening up a lot of past traumas and shit like that, and, like, just shit that was really aching at my soul. And, like, it had me vulnerable. Like, I'll real talk, I was right there just fucking bawling out, crying, because I was just like, it was just so much shit I was overwhelmed by. And, I mean, I was able to come down after that. I was feeling like maybe like 30 minutes after, I was just coasting down, you know, like trying to be like, get a hold of myself and whatnot. Because at the end of the day, I was like, there's still people that are like, I'm over, you know, like I gotta be there for my siblings. I gotta be there for everybody who loves me type shit, you know? So I really put that shit aside, and it really just started making me feel like love really heals all, you know? Like, I started thinking about love more. I wasn't like, I was always like a loving person, but like I didn't know how to express it like that. So that love aspect just came into me, and
Awesome.
I was pretty good. It was pretty good. After that, I was feeling like fine, you know?
Right.
So fast forward, came down from the shrooms, started driving home, dark as fuck, middle of nowhere. Think of like open ass, just one single road, one way this way, boom. And I actually told you this when I actually came back.
I remember.
But I was driving and it was so dark. It was so dark, and I'm telling you, I was scared because I was like, damn, we're really in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like, just us two. Like, if something happens to us, who's gonna fucking know? Who's gonna know till when? How long, you know? And especially these cars and trucks were just coming so close to my side, and I was like, damn, this is freaking me out, you know? And I was just like already alert, you know? And then I see this fucking car coming, you know, he's going pretty fast. And then I see another pair of headlights come across into my lane, and they're coming at me pretty fast. And I was like, look at this, what the fuck, what's going on here? You know, so I'm like, okay, you know, maybe, you know, he's trying to pass, but the other car's not letting him pass, and he's just coming towards me. And shit, I hit the brakes, he was still coming in my direction. I had to fucking skirt. I fucking got off of the shoulder and shit, you know, fucking he was honking his horn and shit. It was such a fucking near miss that shit had me shook to my core. I've never felt so scared, never had a panic attack, but right there at that moment, bro, I couldn't catch my breath. I was like in shock, you know?
Yeah.
Hyperventilating and everything. I didn't even want to be, I stopped, but I got right back on the road because I didn't want to be on the road, you know? Literally.
Right. You gotta get safe.
Literally, like, she was telling me that one of her family members had just passed that way because they were on the side of the road. Literally, like, a month ago, before that happened, on the side of the road, they were trying to, like, get help, and then, pah!
You hit him. Damn.
And so that shit had me scared. Got to the closest city, maybe, like, 15 minutes out, and then we stayed there. I was just no way I was going to fucking get back on the road that night. And that shit had me, like, thinking, like, you know, fuck, there is a God out there. Because I was always having questions.
Right.
But this very moment, I knew there was a God. For me, there's a God, and he's looking out for me, and he's making sure I'm getting home safe. And that was kind of my start into turning into religion. And that was kind of the whole shift and everything that got me started on a different path and music and myself and whatnot. So I came back, I got to it. I was like, okay, I got to get my place. I got to get, all that. Fast forward a little bit, you know, I ended up, I got my spot. We got this fucking spot right here. You know, everything was looking up because I had that shift mentality and I was like, it's time to grow up. So we had done that. And that's when I had started being like, you know, okay, it's time to get on this music shit. So I was cooking, doing shit, trying to work on my shit. At the time, I was doing Plug Love for the Low. That's what I was going to be.
Right.
It was going to be Plug Love for the Low, then Not For Sale. Not For Sale ended up coming first just because it's due to other timelines in our tapes and whatnot.
Yep.
So that was...
Y'all hear about that more soon.
That was really what we was getting on. And I was having a chip on my shoulder just because I felt like, I was like, damn, you know, like I felt like I'm sleeping on myself, you know? I felt like I was like... You know, they say comparison is the thief of joy. After everything I had and everything, when I came to the music, I started thinking about, like, damn, you know, like, what am I doing that's, like, making me sleep on myself? How come motherfuckers is not taking me as serious as I want to take myself serious, you know, like that? Right. And it was just a big-ass chip on my shoulder, and I was thinking about it for a while. It had me bugging. But I got over it after a while because I was just working through it. I was working at 3 projects at the time. That was the Plug Love for the Low, the G-Dub one, and then we were doing the 2 that were split into 1 at the end. And I was just working through it. You know, I felt like I was trying to prove myself, but at the end, like maybe fucking a couple songs in, I kind of started not feeling that way no more, like not feeling like I had to prove anything type shit. But then at that time, I also started falling into like a depression. Mm-hmm. And like I've already said, like I'm pretty prone to being like in that state of mind, you know, being like not fully there for myself. So after having everything, making it to that point, I don't know, I just felt like so depressed. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know how to handle that. So I had even after that, what had made me try to get over it was really my faith in God. You know, I started getting a closer relationship with him, started trying to read the Bible, you know. We was at work, we're over here reading the Bible while we're smoking weed, you know, like it's just like it helped me a lot. It really did. I could really say that, you know, my faith saved me and my shit, you know, because I was thinking really dark. You know, I'm not one to try to off myself like that, but I can't lie to you, like the thoughts weren't there before, you know? Yeah. I don't have the guts to do it, and I can't leave all the family I have and all my loved ones behind, so I really can't do it. But that didn't mean that the thoughts weren't there, you know? Like thinking about like, it'd just be so much easier if this, you know, right. That shit. So I got over that, and that also had shifted my perspective more towards like love heals all, you know? Like that's what I feel like that's what God's message was, you know, love each other. Love your brother, love thy brother. So I was really just like, you know, I'm a shining ray of light, full of love in these dark world type shit. Everybody who feels like they have some sort of darkness in their world, you know, I feel like I'm here. I'm put on this fucking earth to be that fucking ray of sunshine, just to shine a little bit of light, you know, just to be there for for people. You know, I was always there. I was a big brother, so I was always there for my little siblings, you know? So that's how I feel like that just stuck with me. And that's what I kept going off of that. And I feel like I still had a piece of me that was like old me, you know? Like I still was holding on to it. So I was like, okay, plug in Love for the Low. That's like me. That's like the old me, like right before I had gone into this, right, everything I had just told you right now.
Right.
So like it was like a piece of me that I was letting go. It was like this, like a setting free, like I'm done with that side of me, you know? And that's what I was working on. Did the whole shift. And so I was like, okay, so since that's happening, I still want to drop something. And it looks like I'm not even done with this. I'm not even close. Don't want to rush it. I'm going to just do something quick. That's me right now, you know? I want to still fucking drop something. Started doing it. And that's when it started being Not For Sale. That's like, it really all tied in together with how the shrooms were opening my mind, coming to the Lord and all that. That's so that's what fucking brought Not For Sale. That's Not For Sale in itself. Every emotion that had been through that fucking state, that's what went into that project. Like track 1, all those tracks. I mean, maybe not track 1. Track 1's literally a throwaway. But all those tracks, just boom, right after that.
So Not For Sale was a direct result of that experience with those shrooms?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I like that. I think it's very important that you exercise your creativity. I mean, I personally always knew you were a very creative person, especially with the music and how you always executed yourself.
Yeah.
But we touched bases on what you were talking about a little bit, like just in personal conversation. But I guess it's hard to understand because like you don't grow up talking about feelings.
Yeah.
It's not a thing.
Yeah.
You kind of just like it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Push it to the side.
You gotta eat that shit up. You gotta get your money, take care of your family.
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful, man. I'm glad you're here with us, and I'm glad everybody's gonna get to hear this because I've heard it. I've been hearing it since pretty much the beginning, and I'm very excited. It's really good. It's really good.
Thank you.
But it's not even the album, though.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's just literally just a fucking small fucking portion of it.
Right. And what is the album going to be more of this experience, or is it going to be more of a conceptual album?
I'd say more conceptual. The other one is called Plug in Love for the Low.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it deals on my personal experiences between this year where I was going through shit. You know, I went on my own at that time. At one point, it was just me, you know? And from that point to when I was back to wrapping up, let's say, from that point to Anybody Got a Lighter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was like the whole thing I was kind of expressing on about, you know?
Yeah. And how much, I know, I mean, in your verses, for the most part, you really do have a message for the most part.
Yeah.
But it's usually like set off by like a bar or two where you just like put in like a little slick line.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're kind of getting real.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get a slick line in there, like, just kidding, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but there's still a message there. How much of that is there in this, or is it going to be like storytelling, or is it going to be a more elevated version of that?
I would say, you know, just like you said, like just how you say I express myself in that way, you know, I'm always gonna talk that real shit and still have witty bars in there.
Yeah,
it's gonna be like that forever. Like that's just me as a person, you know.
Right.
I be talking like that normally.
That's true. Right.
You know?
Yeah,
and it's gonna be a lot of that. Like it went from some aggressive, pointless shit to shift into that type, you know, really in exploring my capabilities in the way you just said.
Right.
Like, for example, the second track is called Not For Sale, the title track. It's very like that song is literally a song on my faith, you know?
Mm.
And that fucking song was made even before the beat. Like I heard that sample at work, and I had already started singing the hook melody in my head.
Right.
I went home immediately, brought that sample to life, and did what I could. And the rest was just history. It just made me want to speak on that, on that real shit, that the duality of being a human and being kept in faith. You know, like not everybody's the greatest soldier. And I mean, in God's eyes, everybody's right, everybody's good, but we find it hard to always be obedient to His rules.
Like see it in ourselves, type of thing.
Not just that. It's like you could say you're religious, you're very on your faith, and you're the least sinner possible, but like everybody's human, you know. Everybody's gonna fuck up. They're always gonna have something. Whether, you know, this guy might be on Instagram all the time looking at these hoes and whatnot. You know, another person might always be very greedy with their money. Another person, you know, slothing way, being, you know, but like it's in different aspects. You know, there's not everybody's perfect.
Yeah, and what is perfect? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That guy could be having a great ass time playing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
for 80 hours a day.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just so it's really just, I feel like it's just a human song. Like regardless of what you do and whatnot, that can't steer you away from who you are truly inside, you know?
Right.
Like everybody makes mistakes. That shit. And so I feel like I was going kind of deep in that one. There's other ones where I was just kind of having fun, you know? Like,
yeah.
Of course, like, you know, just fucking around, like melodies and shit.
Yeah. But even in those, you're saying some real shit.
Yeah.
Even in the Heartbreaker one, I think it's very, well, you guys don't know. I'm saying like hella crazy.
That Heartbreaker song, that was the first thing I created after almost dying.
Mm-hmm.
Like I came back, that was the first thing that was made.
With your brother.
Yeah. He was in the room with me. We were getting it together. He was like, we're trying to make something together.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm looking for something like All the Stars, something like Black Panther.
Ooh.
So like, okay, let's shoot for that.
Yeah.
So we started getting there, started getting that little groove, and then we had thrown in the Voxes. The Voxes were literally speaking for me. Everything I had thought in my head, I was like, you guys are saying it for me, you know?
Yeah.
And that was pretty much that song. I like that song a lot. I feel like it really it holds weight on me, that song.
I like it too. It feels like I feel like I'm being guided in like in space. I don't know. It just feels like the galaxy. That song feels like like the voxes in the song feel like beings. Yeah. Like celestial beings.
Yeah.
British celestial beings.
Yeah.
Whoever that is.
Yeah.
You want to talk about anything else about it? Oh, what's up with your brother?
Man, he's going crazy, man. He's really fucking. I don't want to say it. He's his own man. He's his own human.
Right.
He's his own person. So he's not a copy and paste of me. But you know, our pops. You already know, like our pops was in all of my. They had split when I was a teenager. Mm-hmm. So you know, it affected me differently than it affected him. Right. He was little. He didn't really know. So
he was small.
Yeah. So it didn't really like, you know. He's like, for all he knows, he's always just had mama, and that's it. You know, like that's all he knew. So it wasn't really like that. But so his influence, his fucking role model was me. Evidently, you know, being 10 years older than him, and he looked up to me. It was a glue. He was like glue. You know, anything that I would do, he wanted to do it because it was like, you know, big brother, this is, you know. And I'm glad that I was able to set a good example and not really give him something false, something like, you know, where I could look at him now and be like, damn, like, fuck. It's like that because of me. So now I'm looking at him like, yeah, I fuck with that. You know, I'm glad I was able to rub off, like, just the feeling of being able to express yourself. You know, it's hard for people to express themselves, especially men, right?
Yeah.
So I'm glad that he has that outlet right now. And he's going crazy. He's barely started maybe a year ago. He's advancing so great.
Yeah. He's a cheater, man. By the time he's really good, it's good.
Yeah.
Because we did a lot of the figuring it out.
Yeah.
So any questions he has, we'll be like, oh, we got you.
Right now. Easy.
I think that's great. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I think anybody from now on in our family, which is kind of crazy. We have 4. Who else we got? Any other musicians? Me, you, Mac, your brother.
Some fucking hidden ones.
Some people we don't know. They're just tucked away.
Yeah.
Shout out to y'all.
Like there's
Hope y'all come out.
there's so much time for them to just be like, you know what?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of them are talented.
It's true. But I think overall we have an artistic family on the side that we share.
Yeah, I agree.
But I mean, we're 4 musicians deep on our side.
Fact. Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
It is. It is. There's no way that it's not fucking meant to be.
Right. I love it.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about?
I'm trying to think. Check my handy dandy notebook. Man, I don't really got much else to say. Not for sale. Coming November 20th.
November 20th, not for sale.
That's a Monday because I work throughout the week. I like to listen to shit when I work. I like it keep me going. So Monday, boom, right away. First thing, I like playing albums and all that. So I like to think, you know, that's my mentality with it. There's got to be other people thinking the same, you know?
Definitely.
Like if I'm on some shit that's going to motivate me to work,
yeah,
then there's got to be a route for that. But Monday, November 20th, not for sale. 7 tracks.
Brand new.
Couple production credits. We got Deduction on track 1. I'm producing majority of it.
Yes, sir.
Track 4, Te Quiero, produced by
Mikhail.
I'm not really sure how to pronounce his name, but it'll be there eventually.
Yeah.
And fucking As Seen on TV, Heartbreaker, produced by me and my little brother.
Yes, sir. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching the first episode of SlowBurnHour. We talked about, what did we talk about? We talked about Chuta's new project, Not For Sale.
Sir,
we talked about, we got a little bit into your life, you know, your experiences and what you've been through to make this album.
Yeah.
I think it was a great episode.
Thank you.
I appreciate you for opening up. Not even to me, just me, but to all the people that are going to see this. I think it's awesome.
Of course. I wouldn't have been as comfortable if I didn't have you right here, you know? So it's very warming to be able to have someone who I know cares about me too, to listen to, you know, a side of me that I don't really like expressing sometimes.
Yeah.
So appreciate that, bro.
Appreciate you, man. All right, SlowBurnHour every week. I don't know when we're going to do this consistently, but the first episode is going to come out next Friday. What day is that? 18th?
I mean, by the time they say this, the next episode is coming out now. It's out now. You just watched it.
Oh, shit.
Motherfucker.
That's what he get for debating. My little baby fuck me to sleep. I suppose she want more than just